good morning, everybody. Welcome to this new session of SDG Local Solution. I am Diana Lopez, advisor of Safe Cities Local Action in New York. We have interpretation into English and French.
We have interpretation to English and French. In order to select English as your language, you will have an option in the bottom of your screens with a little world. When you click on the world, it appears the option interpretation. So please select English.
And if you speak French, the same, you need to select the icon.
For the Spanish, as the moderation will be in English and French, select the option Spanish in the little word that you have at the bottom of your screen. A glow, you select Spanish, and you don't have to change the language.
So on top of that, some other logistics is that we are recording this session, and it will be later available in our YouTube channel, where you can also access our previous editions of these SDG local action webinars. Since this is a webinar, the participants online cannot raise their hands to participate, but you can write your questions in the chat in any of the three languages, English, Spanish, and French. So just use the chat to introduce yourselves or ask some questions, request for more information from the speakers. Thank you for being here with us, and very well welcome to this SDG Local Solutions, where we want to present specific actions that local governments led by municipalities, regions, and provinces around the world are doing day by day to make Agenda 2030 a reality, with innovating public services, delivering better, reaching those who are left behind. And we believe here at UNDP that the work of local governments is amazing, what they are doing for transforming this set of international goals in actions that the citizens, the residents can see in their daily lives. So today we are very proud to present the experience of Hermosillo in Sonora, Mexico. And this is a project that UNDP has been supported within the framework of the Global Mayors Challenge, where Hermosillo was selected as one of the winners in 2022. We are coming to the end of the project, and we are really very, very happy to see the results thanks to the leadership of IMPLAN, which is the Municipal Institute of Planning of the city of Hermosillo. The project is very exciting, so that's why we invited a sister agency to moderate today's event, because we always welcome to have like a perspective from someone else that has not been involved in the day-to-day fight that is to create new services for the population, especially when they are as innovative as the Hermosillo project is. So today we have with us Thomas George. He is the global lead on urban of UNICEF, the Children's Fund for the UN. UNICEF has been present in cities, in the urban field for many years. So thank you, Thomas, for being here with us, and give us also, your views about Hermosillo, because, if we do the moderation ourselves, we know the project so well that we lack a bit of this external perspective. So that's why we are very, very happy to have you with us. We will have today two presentations. The first is from our partner and colleague, Jose Carrillo. He's the director of the IMPLAN, the Municipal Institute for Planning in the city of Hermosillo, followed by Valeria Duarte, who has been the project coordinator of the Global Mayors Challenge edition 22-2025. So without further ado, I leave the session in your good hands. Thomas, thank you again for being here with us, and I hope you enjoy listening to our colleagues in Mexico. Over to you.
Thank you, Diana. A very good morning and greetings to all from UNICEF headquarters in New York. It's a very cloudy and a rainy day here. Hope you are all in surroundings which are a little more bright with sunshine. So we can start this conversation. I'm very, very excited to be part of this SDG localization initiative, because we all know that there are no dearth of policies globally now. policies at the global level, national level, and even at subnational level. But operationalizing these policies is what is a challenge, and I'm sure this is a very good example of how policies can be operationalized, a multi-sectoral policy for multi-sectoral response, and it'll be a lesson to the rest of the world. We also know that the urban poverty is increasing with urbanization. We are currently at around 57% of urbanization globally, and it's soon supposed to be 60% in a couple of years, and then by 2050 it'll be 70%. What's also more concerning for us is that the slum population, which is at 1 billion plus now, will be close to 3 billion by 2050, which is quite a scary scenario because by 2050, if you take 10 people, 3 of them will be in rural areas, 7 will be in urban areas. And out of the 7 in urban areas, 4 will be in non-slums and 3 will be in slums. So we're looking at a slum population which is almost equal to the rural population. And we also know that the challenges of living in urban are increasing every day as we speak, with conflict, climate, and all other kind of events impacting the urban life. I would like to start by analyzing or giving a broad framework on analyzing urban vulnerabilities in a three-pronged way. One is the household vulnerability or the individual vulnerability. The second is the neighborhood vulnerability, and the third is the social vulnerability. So if you look at the poor people in urban areas, you will see that they are going through all the three vulnerabilities: individual household vulnerability, because in the urban poor areas, there is an acute shortage of housing, and adequate housing is quite a challenge. Neighborhoods, yes, this one touches on how neighborhoods are, not uh, not planned and with inadequate infrastructure, and municipal waste is something which is plaguing many cities and many countries. I saw some data recently that by 2050 there could be 4 million tons of waste which is not processed. I don't know how far that's true, but we can say that safely that that's an area that needs a lot of work. Climate change, as we know, 70% of cities are already affected, and almost all of them are at risk. And poor urban areas are more at risk from climate because one is the population that lives in it, and it's also the reason why the slums and the urban poor live in areas, in low-lying areas, other precarious lands. When I talked about the three ways that the vulnerability can be analyzed, I thought, I spoke of a third bucket, which is on the social vulnerabilities. Women, gender is definitely a social vulnerability, and sometimes these can be overlaid with other social vulnerabilities. We also know that more than 11% of births worldwide are by children aged 15 to 19. They are girls, about 16 million girls. They are children and they are also mothers. And the kind of disadvantages they have, both because of their gender, their age, and the caregiving responsibilities, is huge. So from where I see it, this initiative brings together two issues. One is employment and livelihood for women, and the other one is municipal waste, which are directly addressed. But there are many other positive outcomes which are also linked. So I don't want to stand between you and the presenters. So without much ado, I would invite now Jose Carrizo. I hope I pronounced it correctly. He's the director of Implan, to start his presentation, and then we can go to the next one. Jose, over to you.
Good morning to everybody. In this case, we will present the Biciclando model program that has been developed over the past 3 years with the sponsorship of Bloomberg Philanthropies through UNDP. And I want to tell you that the city of Hermosillo, if we can put the presentation, is a location in the northwest of Mexico. We have around 1 million inhabitants. We are in the border with Arizona in the US, and it's a city that has been growing and has been becoming industrialized in recent times. And well, now we are presenting a program that we call Biciclando Circular Economy Center. The origin. Well, we will talk about the origin and the implementation framework, the challenges addressed in the municipal environment, and we will talk about the timeline, the results obtained, and finally, a photographic memory and the experiences of the operation that we have implemented. Biciclando, it's a program that fosters women's entrepreneurship and sustainable mobility in the circular economy. This was initiated after the pandemic as a proposal of the municipality of Hermosillo for the Bloomberg Global Mayor's Talent in 2021, and we were selected among 631 cities, and we were one of the 15 winners. The program responds to sustainable mobility urban challenges, well-being with a gender perspective, circular economy through a network of recollection and recycling that collects waste through electric bikes operated by women entrepreneurs that we call bicicladoras. And this program has several components. We have the Circular Economy Center, which is the venue of the program, the Biciclando service, which is a recycling platform and service, and the bike lane infrastructure to connect the units with the center and to foster the women's sustainable mobility. In this context, Biciclander and the Circular Economy Center tries to promote sustainable urban solutions. We foster gender equality and we try to strengthen the circular economy. Well, some of the challenges that we had to face. First, well, there is a low rate of recycling in the city, and that has increased over the past few years. We have a high dependency on the automobile. 35% of the trips are motorized, only 5% is done through bikes, and only 15% of those trips are done by women, because 70% of women perceived that it was unsafe to drive a bike. So some of the challenges that we saw early on was that there was a drop in the economy, there was a gender gap because 60% of the jobs lost were done by women, and the households led by women account for 30% of the population that we have in the city. So that leads us to review this program in the framework of SDGs, and we are addressing several of these SDGs. For example, one, end of poverty, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation infrastructure, inequality reduction, sustainable communities and cities, responsible consumption and production, and of course, climate action, which is one of the policies that has really been most highlighted in our program. So this program is integrated within the Municipal Development Plan as a Sustainable Mobility Initiative and Circular Economy Initiative. We have different lines of action in our municipal program, and we are related with different fronts. Front 2 fosters sustainable mobility, circular economy, and urban innovation, and Front 4 that promotes women's employment, social inclusion, and safe public environments. And all this is related with some other programs, municipal programs that have been implemented related to this topic, the issues of climate change, sustainable development, the gender integration, gender equality. We have programs such as, for example, Walk Safe, where we strengthen the safety and mobility of the bicicladoras and the women that use public spaces. We have some other program, for example, Recycle for Your Community, which is a broad network of storage and revamping of waste, and sustainable parks, for example, that contributes to the restoration and maintenance of public spaces through the resources that are obtained from waste.
We have been implementing the program for 3 years now. The program started in 2022 when we are already part of the Mayor Challenge program. We had a planning phase where we work within the design and the testing of the vehicle, which is something new, which is electrical vehicle with a trailer to be able to put all the waste inside. We have been working on this until October 2023. Then we implemented a pilot project where we did house collection, and in December 2021, a new stage extended operation started with the operation center working up and running. And during the last year, 2025, we have started escalating the program, and we have been working at full capacity. Within the results, we've seen creation of jobs for over 30 women. We built the first circular economy center in Latin America, and we were able to collect over 50 tons of waste. We have been operating for 3 years. We have over 30 women that were recruited and trained throughout the program. We have collected almost 50 tons with an average of 400 kilos a day of collected material. Also, as I said before, we built the Circular Economy Center, the development of 4 kilometers of biking infrastructure. We have 12 electrical bicycles and PPP for waste management, helmets, inputs, the uniforms. We also had the possibility of acquire an electric vehicle to support the service, and also to be able to use the materials. And also we have developed an app where we have the possibility of having contact between the general population, the public, and our collectors. This is some photograph from the start of the program. This was the first prototype we have. We have Antonio Stargeral, who has been supporting us from the beginning. He was with us from 21 to 24, and he was re-elected thanks to some public policies that he has implemented. So the Hermosillo's population decided to provide him with more time in office. And we have one of the elders of the collectors that have been with us with the longest time, Citali Cota, and we wanted here to acknowledge her work and the work of the other collectors that are working in our program. This is our circular economy center. As you can see, this is also a prototype or an example of reuse of materials. It is built based on recycled maritime containers. And also we had the support of a company such as Tetra Pak, which has donated the material that you can see at the center, which is aluminum leaves or sheets that are recycled to turn them into construction material. So we are very proud of the fact that we just don't use the recycled materials on our center, but it's a living example of the recycling and reuse of materials. Here we can see a photo taken inside our circular economy center. We have certain, you can see some of the equipment that we use in our program. We have also have many several events we organize. So, for example, the opening of the circular economy centers. Then we have also attended other events with the participation of our associations or organizations supporting these issues. We can see there the participation of our sponsors on WWF, and we have great support from them. We have had a good response from the media also. This is a local media where they provide a summary on how our circular economy center is working. And this is just a sample of what we have been working on. We are very proud of our programs. We are already in the process of moving from the Bloomberg, UNDP, and other organizations support and financing to the ministry now, trying to see how it can provide continuity and funding to the program just to be extended in the future. So that is for me, and we can move now to the next presentation. First of all, I would like to show you this video first. So we promote recycling and the community and mobility of people within the city. For me, it means to be able to contribute to the community, to raise awareness on the planet and taking care of the planet. So it's very important to think about this type of project, and I'm really proud of it. Hermosillo is a city that produces a lot of waste, so we don't have many resources to recycle it. So the material you discard or you throw away, we can use to recycle and reuse it. So what I want to do is to raise awareness among the population that they should allow us to use this material for recycling. I think that since I started here, I realized that we could achieve a true circular economy. I thought that they may be too complicated or it would take so long, but now we can see that it can be really achieved. And the bicycles are a great help for us because we can just take all the the materials and just take them to the center. And if it's too sunny, it's better if you have the bicycle. So I'm very proud of being part of this group on this program at my age. Even my children, even my family is very proud of what I'm doing, that I'm working on this. And they can see that I'm using bikes, I'm riding the bikes when I go out to collect. We recycle paper, cardboard, aluminum, thread pack. And then we will also do some other things. What are we going to do with the material to reduce the number of residues and wastes that are thrown away, so that we can recycle and we can reuse them, maybe monetize them too. I think that I'm really all the time aware of the type of the thing that the need to have this type of projects, and this helps us raise awareness about what we are doing with our waste. If we go out on the streets, you find out a lot of things to collect, and I like how well we get along with the colleagues and the environment we're working. I think that we are lacking such of a recycling culture, and little by little we can make the change for everybody. I think we can do it, and Biciclando, it is an opportunity to really make a change for the better, for many things. It's not just collecting waste, it's much more than that. You can follow up on the social media and be part of this great initiative. Thank you very much for your attention. And this has been our presentation for this occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jose. I can see from the video that the streets are very clean, very nice. So if I can just summarize the results, one is creation of jobs for 30 women, collection of 10-50 tons of waste, and I think institutional capacity, which is a circular economy center, and the app for instant communication. I think these will be very good for for sharing with the rest of the world. And I can also see why your operation is very energy efficient by the use of bikes. Thank you for that. And now let us go to Valeria Duarte to hear from her. Over to you, Valeria.
As we have already presented the whole solution at the beginning, now I'm going to elaborate on the results we have obtained from the Biciclando project. Biciclando implements a recyclable waste collection model that is sustainable and inclusive in order to reduce the environmental footprint and promote circular economy and active mobility. And it also provides dignified jobs with gender focus. We have 4 pillars in our projects. The first one is female employment. The second is the circular economy center, which are operation based. The third is sustainable mobility, as we've seen. These collection tasks are done through the bicycles. And the fourth is environmental culture and responsible recycling. As to female employment, the profile of our collectors is we have 23 women that have been hired. Their average age is 30 to 49 years old. Most of the women have higher education or medical education. 10 are mothers and 5 are breadwinners in their homes. And for 20 women, this is their main source of income. And 17 have an additional job besides Biciclando. We want to offer them flexible timetables because many of them have to do house chores, they have to care for other people, and there are others that are still at school or studying. And so it was important for us to um, give them possibility of joining the projects, about hiring them, and offer them flexible times.
Regarding the results, we conducted internal group sessions, and these contributed to improving communication and to get organized so that they could improve the coordination roles among them. Also, we had the diversification of income as a result of new recollection material. So, apart from the materials that we already recycled, we identified that there are some other materials that we were collecting and that could generate an extra income to the one that we already had before. The women counted with ongoing training on basics mechanics, manipulation of cargo, waste management, and road safety. Also, we involved them in the use of working tools. It was very important to explain to them the importance of using certain tools in terms of basic mechanics, but also the use of technologies such as the mobile technology in order to follow up the requests from the community. Also, we did training sessions on circular economy and cooperative consolidation because for us, it was very important for them to have this knowledge about becoming a cooperative in the future. And the center, the Circular Economy Center, was considered a zone where it is identified as a safe place that can help people who are at risk. It is called a safe zone. And finally, we did an articulation with the DIF from Hermosillo. We could provide psychological support for the women who were part of the team. So here we see the results of the second pillar that has to do with the Circular Economy Center. During this period, we had a total recollection of 69,609 kilograms, which is a total income. This is in Mexican pesos of 136,869 pesos. We have served so far 950 roads, and the daily average recollection so far is 550 kilos. That accounts for a daily income of 962 pesos. Likewise, the way in which we do this collection is the following. The people make a request through the mobile app Biciclando that can be found in Android or iOS. The people make the request. The request arrives at the administration module, and the request is allocated to cycler, and they use the e-bike to do the recollection. So far, we have coverage over 5 sectors of the city. And we have the collection that is also done in the Circular Economy Center and in 3 centers that are temporary storage centers that are in public spaces of the city during the weekends. Regarding the results of the materials, we recycle cardboard, aluminum, PET, paper, and Tetra Pak. As you can see on the drawing, we see an increase in recent months, especially because we had the hiring of the full team, 23 women, and this helped us quite a bit regarding the increase in income and collection. Now, regarding affiliations of generating agents, so far we have 107 households that are registered, 245 companies affiliated, 5 educational centers, and 21 municipal dependencies. Now, regarding the sustainable mobility pillar, the results that we have are the following. The collection is done through 12 e-bikes and an electric vehicle. Likewise, we fostered the cycling infrastructure through the installation of concrete separators in 4.2 kilometers around the circular economy center. And this helped so that the women could use this cycling infrastructure in a safe way. Also, we created 2 cycling lanes with the community and we planted 30 native trees. And regarding the communication in social media, we used a communication strategy highlighting the importance of using the bike, because not only we wanted this strategy to stay internally, but we wanted to convey the message to the population, to the full population of the Hermosillo municipality. And with this, according to studies that were done by the Planning Institute, we identified an increase in the bikers in these 4.2 kilometers that were separated through concrete separators. And finally, the fourth pillar has to do with the environmental culture and responsible recycling. For us, it was very important to reach the community, but also to reach the media. And therefore, we worked on a strategy in order to make the project social, to use the social media and to give visibility, the visibility the project required at municipal level. We conveyed different messages. The number one was women that recycle, women that transform, because we thought that this is very much aligned with the project. We wanted to foster women's employment, but also we wanted to create a situation where the people, the women in Hermosillo are agents of change for recycling. Another message that we conveyed was Biciclando is not only a project, it's a different way of making a city. Recycling is not a fashion, it's taking care of what we love and give another turn, recycling, win, and transform. And regarding the results of this pillar, we had 3 activations in public spaces, 4 community workshops, 10 trips around the circular economy center with government entities, with educational centers. We also generated 5 sessions with the internal teams, as I said, 2 cycling bike races, a theater show, a painting experience where we showed sustainable mobility. We had an ecological challenge and a recycling fair. All in all, we had the participation of 532 people. And regarding the social media, we had 672,463 visualizations and 156,187 regarding scope, and 2,256 interactions. It is worth mentioning that the initial indicators established for these activities regarding participation and social media were exceeded with these figures. And well, to conclude, we had different challenges. The number one was the extreme climate in the city of Hermosillo. This year, we had a maximum temperature of 47.5 degrees centigrade. We knew that it was very hot. However, as this job demands certain physical effort and being in the field, well, we had certain challenges regarding the women and dehydration. Another challenge had to do with the turnover of staff, as this is a job where, well, this is a physical activity, activities in the circular economy center. You had to go to the street and socialize in different stores. Okay, we had staff turnover. Another challenge, as I mentioned, was health and emotional well-being. We had girls that suffered dehydration, heat blows, and that's why we tried to uh, use the municipal team to provide the girls with psychological support and address the emotional well-being of these women. Also, we had certain conditions of the urban environment that not always are the best in order to bike, that hindered the access to certain areas of the city. We worked with the municipality in order to address the poor conditions of the roads, obstacles, certain corners, certain areas we did not have lighting. And also this led to the maintenance of the bikes that we did not expect. We knew that maintenance was going to be preventive and recurrent, but due to the poor conditions of the environment, this maintenance truly, well, the technician could not cope with all the things that we had to repair of the bikes. And that has become regular so far. Another challenge was the use of technologies and tools, especially the use of the mobile app. At the very beginning for the girls, actually, it was not very simple to get familiarized with this way of making the recollection request, because in the past, the requests were done through a message. And also we identified that for the community, due to the fact that we have elderly population in the environment, it was not so simple for them to get involved with the app and to make the recollections request. Another challenge, well, we knew that this could happen, was incident management. We had certain girls who suffered certain injuries due to biking. Fortunately, it was not serious. However, that led to somehow enhance the safety protocols in order to improve the conditions. And another challenge was the fluctuation in the material costs. And this has happened in recent weeks. We did not count with the fact that the companies with which we generated these partnerships in order to sell the materials, well, they really varied the costs. With them and also throughout the city, we are on an ongoing basis looking for the better option in order to improve the income of women. And finally, the documentation and the protocols for the implementation. At the very beginning of this operation, we did not count with documentation and protocols. They were done along the way, but we considered that it would have been simpler if we had counted with this documentation prior to the implementation. Now, regarding good practices, well, we have several here. The first one is the labor environment and human support accompanying the women. We always supported them in order to check how they felt. And so far, they are very grateful because they we take care of them, and this is not just considered a simple job. Also, the set as a priority of the business and also the strategic alliance. At the very beginning, we work with the household. Then we realize that the stores generate a larger volume of waste, and this helped us to somehow focus on stores, and this had a positive result in the increase that we had in recent times regarding material collection. And the strategic partnerships, we worked and we made two partnerships with companies that buy the recycling materials. They provided better prices, and even they facilitated the transportation of the materials because they go directly to the Circular Economy Center and they take the materials. Likewise, the commercialization of materials, where we identified that there were some other materials apart from the ones that we were recycling already, and we identified that they were being sold at a better price. So it was an extra income that we had not foreseen. And at the very end, it was a window of opportunity that we've been taking advantage of in recent months. Another good practice was the establishment of an organizational structure. That is, the roles are well established. There are channels of communications, formal channels of communications with the women that are very well known. For us, it was very important to train them in terms of leadership so that the project could be self-manageable by themselves. Then internal communication and social cohesion that is connected to the structure. We had weekly meetings and daily meetings at the beginning of the day in order to establish the activities to be carried out at the end of the day, to identify what had happened and what we could improve and what outstanding activities we had. And finally, ongoing training and strengthening of capabilities. These women were trained on an ongoing basis. We checked with them all the time if there was a certain topic on which they wanted to have additional training to strengthen the skills and to strengthen their confidence so that it would be easier for them to work and also to do the socialization work in the street.
Finally, to conclude, there was a series of recommendations that we consider are important for cities that would like to replicate this model in their cities. First of all, is to have a diagnosis. It is important to have a pre-diagnosis of the area to intervene in order to identify what generating agents are required, what materials are produced, and whether there are companies that will purchase these materials. This is very important before starting operations, then to establish all the documentation to implement operations protocols, operation manuals, follow-up indicators, assessment channels, etc. Also, you should have a space that would act as operation center. We had the opportunity of build the circular economy center, but it's very important to have a space, a physical space, a facility that may act as a headquarters in order to provide all the services and all this to the collectors. Also, the planning and design of efficient routes, and to
Valeria,
have
you'll have 1
also
minute, okay?
a follow-up plan, a follow-up scheme, and for following up the progress of the project. Then relation or get into relationship with interesting women that will be committed with the project to avoid turnover of women, diversification of income with the transformation of certain materials, communication and socialization strategy. That was something that had very good results, and it's very important to have also maintenance plans and guarantee medical insurance for women, and to guarantee the sustainability of the project and try to align the project with public policies on the city government. Fortunately, we had that already in the city of Hermosillo, so we try to continue those policies. And so this is it for me. And you can see here our social media, social networks, if you want to follow us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Valeria. Thank you for a very detailed presentation with details of your mobilization, of sustainability. I really like the lessons learned bit and the recommendations bit. I'm just wondering how the women were able to cycle when it's 47.5 degrees outside. Hats off to them. What it also shows us is that when we start doing something, this also becomes a vehicle for other issues to be brought up. Like you said, in some parts of the city, the poor conditions, the roads, lighting, all these issues were brought up, and it definitely adds to change in various other ways. Thank you very much. So we get into the question answer session now. What I'll do is Melissa has been kind enough to put all the questions together for me, so it makes my life easier. So I'll take a few questions for Jose first, and then I'll come to Valeria. So Jose, the questions are like I'm putting before you three questions. One is, what are the technical challenges that were faced in developing and operating the electric assist bicycles and the electric vehicle? So around the electric vehicles. Then what are the social or economic transformations the municipality observed in the participants' lives? Here I would think the women's lives. And what is the main lesson regarding intersectoral coordination between public, private, international actors, and civil society? So you can answer all the three together.
Thank you very much. As regards technical challenges, since the beginning, a challenge was to be able to design the machine, the equipment, to look for the right bicycle model and the low trailer, the cargo trailer that would be useful for us. There were some examples of some eco taxis for passenger transport and some other examples for last mile cargo for goods distribution services. But the challenge for us was to be able to build a bicycle that will be safe, that will have the technical and electrical capacity and the enough cargo capacity or holding capacity that we required. So we worked with a company that helped us and supported us in the design of the bicycle. And when we started with implementation, there were certain technical failures, the issue of the temperature, some flat tires, the payment condition. And so this was a constant challenge, and we kept on improving the device. And as regards the modifications and the changes that we've seen, we have to acknowledge that the influence area of this program, Biciclando, is in a district that is called the model. And it has been also a model, an example of social participation. Many of the citizens were involved in the projects since the beginning, and they were willing to train themselves to separate ways to prepare them and to give them to the collectors, to the women. And so the community really jump on board of the program, and they have made an effort to separate and prepare the waste to give them clean to the collector so that they can be later recycled. And I think that regardless of the volume of useful waste, the most important thing has been the awareness that we were able to raise in the community about recycling, etc. So finally, as regards institutional and sectorial relationship and the coordination with companies, the private sector, it has been quite satisfactory to see how local, not just local companies, but also some franchises of international companies also joined us, and they were willing to do waste separation and to provide those materials to the collectors. We had great support from schools, municipal agencies that joined the projects. And so there are companies where we have to have 7 of our collectors just to collect the waste or the materials with just one company. So the volume provided by the companies is very important for the program. even though the issue of home recollection, it's very important. Household collection is very important for us because we can generate a critical mass of people supporting the program. But the truth is that the private companies or the businesses really provide with a great volume, and they generate more income for our collectors.
Thank you, Jose. The next question or the set of questions for Valeria is as follows. So it's about participation. So the question is, how were the women collectors selected? That's the first part. And then were there any support networks or local alliances that strengthened the women's participation in the program? Valeria.
At the beginning, the only thing we requested were from the women so that they were all they were not minors, so they were of age. There were no requirements as regard the studies, and we wanted to have women that perhaps were living in more vulnerable areas of the city to provide economic support for them. What we did require as a minimum requirement, and some of them did not have it, is that they should know how to ride a bike, because this was essential. But some of them came to us asking for a job because they had a great need. So we trained them on how to ride a bike, and now they can be collectors. And so we try to offer training so that they will have all the information required to be able to go on the streets to collect the wastes. And as to networks, it's interesting because this is a group of 23 women, and they have already created the support group among themselves. Even in the group sessions we organized, we tried not just to communicate things, but also we knew that many of them have some issues. So we try to address some personal issues, and they will help each other. And we've seen how the teamwork has been growing among them and has been strengthening. We have also worked with the Women Care agency from the municipality of Hermosillo that connected us with women that were interested in taking this job, and the alliance with DIF. And so now we have already received or got the possibility of having psychological support for the women. But now we are trying to get support to have some time of facilities for the children, so that they will have the opportunity to go to work, to have a job, but at the same time be able to bring their children with them, and they can stay in a safe space while they go on the street to collect the waste. So that's what we are trying to do now. That's it,
Thank you.
basically.
Thank you, Valeria. I'm glad as UNICEF that you are taking care of childcare also when you are thinking this through. There is a last question which is for both, and also I would also like to comment on that, which is, would you recommend this experience for other Latin American countries? What are the key takeaways or areas to improve? I would say, why only Latin America? Why not rest of the world? So quick 1-minute answers from Jose and Valeria.
Well, I would recommend many other cities, municipalities, or locations to implement the program. It should depend, of course, on the interest, the political support they can get for the program. But it's a program that has make us really proud, but it has also bring many good results, very good acceptance in the population, within the population. As I said before, we have been able to promote awareness about product recycling and circular economy in general.
Thank you, Valeria.
I think that I would fully recommend to implement this program, as long as you first of all identify what are the materials and the waste generated in the city, and also identify whether there are certain businesses or private companies that will purchase these materials for recycling. And as Jose Carrillo said, if the companies generate a great amount of waste, that's not companies, also households. So we, from the beginning, wanted to improve our recycling rate, but we know that there are many cities that already have recycling practices implemented. And so I think it would be easier to replicate this program and take into account that the concept of circular economy does not require much, but we still have a lot to do in this aspect.
Thank you. Waste collection, waste management, and recycling are the need of the hour, not just in Latin America, everywhere, every city. Even big cities, developed cities like New York, sometimes struggle with waste management and collection. So thank you all for presenting this wonderful experience, wonderful initiative. And the solutions for most of these problems cannot be found at global discourses. It's from local action that these can come up. Thank you for UNDP for inviting me. I hope to see this video being circulated widely so that other municipalities can also take it up. Congratulations to everybody, and wish you all the very best.